Hey, this is Joe, and you're listening to the Recklessly Skeptical podcast. Over here we have
Matt.
And here we have...
And this is Josh.
You can find us, not on Spreaker anymore, but mostly YouTube. On YouTube, you can also find Matt and mine, or Matt and I, or who fucking cares? You can find our channel. It is The Evil Atheist, and you can also find Josh's channel, ZZZ Giant Awake.
He's really tall.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why we call him Giant, and he's awake. He's awake.
Some of the
waking giant.
I actually call him a giant because he has a huge penis.
What was it that you said, Josh, about being really tall and stuff? Even if it's small, it's still pretty
Oh, no,
big.
that was a guy from my work.
That was one of you guys brought that up. I rarely ever talk about my penis size because I like to be humble, I think is the word.
Oh, humbled?
Yeah.
But I just thought it was funny. It was, gosh, yeah. You're so tall that even if it's small,
it's still big.
It's still big.
Yeah,
and then I made the comment that I'm kind of short, so even if it's big, it's still kind of small.
So I don't know how the fuck we ended up talking about penises to open the podcast.
Oh, it's all in good fun, Josh.
I know. And you can find us in Not Our Penises on Facebook at The Evil Atheist Facebook group. And make sure you go to the group page, not the
community.
Yep. So go there, join us in the conversation where we talk about things. Silentimes we talk about penises, but most of the time we don't.
Alrighty, well, today is February 7th, 2016. David Silverman, the president of American Atheist, is coming here to Utah on his book tour, Fighting God, an Atheist Manifesto for a Religious World. And we're just going to read a quick quote.
Yep, yeah. I say we do, so.
Alrighty. Understand religion is weak, not in terms of power in America, but rather in argument. As loud as they shout and as hard as they try, preachers keep bumping into the great wall of logic and knowledge. They are, in all their huffing and crying, talking about an invisible man in the sky, and theirs is no different from any of the others, Yahweh, Allah, Vishnu, Quetzalcoatl, all of them, myths. This is religion's Achilles heel. The preachers are hawking mythology, and mythology is weak. That's why they need to indoctrinate. Religion isn't learned, it's inflicted.
Too bad he left out Elohim or Elohim.
Or Thor or fucking...
No, because Elohim's the local one for Mormons in Utah. God has
is it?
Yeah, God has a different name if you're Mormon.
Oh, Elohim, huh?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you come from the planet Kolob, you're going to have a weird name.
Sure, true enough.
And that's real, people. That's real. Mormons believe God came from the planet Kolob.
As some people say it's the star closest to the center of the universe, but let's not fucking get into that.
The center of the universe. Oh, interesting.
But the center of the universe at the time was the center of the galaxy, as we know it now. Science, man, these religious people can't guess ahead of time for some
I know,
reason.
huh?
So, yeah, David Silverman's a cool-ass dude. I've met him once. I think, Matt, you've met him, too.
I didn't talk to him, but I saw him at the American Atheist Convention here in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, and I have an interview with him up on my channel. It's just a simple question, why be outwardly an open atheist? And he's a militant atheist, but I definitely like what he does, even though sometimes I disagree with his style in debates, but I prefer a more philosophically based style of debate. But David Silverman's good, for sure.
Completely agree.
All right, so let's talk about... You have the first story?
Yes, I do. So, Raw Story is reporting, anti-gay parents compare LGBT student group at rural Tennessee high school to ISIS and drunk drivers. So I'm going to read a little bit from the article. Quote, anti-gay parents at a Tennessee high school are planning a rally Monday against a school club for LGBT students and their straight allies, the Tennessean reports. The new club, called the Franklin County High School Gay Straight Alliance, or GSA, has faced controversy since it formed in the rural community. It may face even more adversity now that parents John Wimley and Chris Ball started a Facebook page where they are encouraging parents to stand against the club meeting at school. Now listen to this. This is pretty interesting. Wimley said the LGBT student group represents a slippery slope to having terrorist group ISIS on campus. In one post, he shared a picture of the club's meetup flyer, writing, quote, "Okay, FC, if we do not band together and stop this BS, the next thing you know, they will have FEMA, Future ISIS Members of America. Hashtag, put God in schools, please."
Jesus Christ.
You know, the funny thing is, and I think most intelligent people know this by now, that most very homophobic men usually turn out to be gay. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy was gay and he's just afraid to admit it.
Yeah, a lot of staunch opposers to gay rights, preachers or whoever, a lot of it is just projection. Like, I'm gay, I really want to suck a penis, but I can't because God will hate me, and
so now I need to hate everyone else who wants to suck penis.
Well, and see, I'd rather stick to instead of trying
more
to,
facts. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's so fucking stupid. ISIS? Are you kidding me? So gay people are going around and murdering people because they're gay.
Watch out! I'm gonna explode you, bitches.
God damn it! That's got to be one of the stupidest things I've ever heard as far as the LGBTQ community.
So, and somebody else wrote this: "We should change the Constitution so that drunks can drive drunk. They were born that way. Let's not discriminate against these poor, pathetic people and their lifestyles."
That's ridiculous. As someone who has had a drinking history, that's so stupid. Like, I can choose to drink or not to drink, but I don't choose who I have a sexual attraction to. I never have been able to choose that. I'm sexually attracted, in my case, to women and to specific body types of women. And that doesn't mean that's nothing like the alcohol problem that I had. Like, there was a problem where, I wanted to stop and I couldn't stop it sometimes, and sometimes I didn't give a fuck and just drank for hours or days. Like, that's so stupid. It's not at all alike. In my drinking... in driving, because I have done that. I've been arrested for that. Put other people in fucking harm's way.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've done everything I can to make amends for that. And that has nothing to do with what I'm doing in a fucking bedroom with whatever partner I choose to have.
Well, I'd like to... no matter what kind of partner you have in the bedroom, when you're in the bedroom and you guys are doing your romantic thing...
As consenting adults,
who are you putting in harm's way?
And
are you driving your bedroom down the street, not looking, and are you going to crash into some little kids? There is a huge difference between being gay and alcoholism.
And I'd like to point out, even if being gay was a choice, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, well,
you can choose to do what you want with another consenting adult,
as long as
as long as you're not hurting anybody else. If I choose to be gay, go fuck yourself. I can be gay if I want to.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like marijuana use. It's like, yeah, well, what? So what? What if I want to smoke to get a little high or get high? Whatever, it's my choice. If I'm not putting anybody in harm's way, a stranger, a neighbor, anyone in my family, my children, or myself, then big fucking deal.
And another funny thing, ISIS is anti-gay rights, anti-gay people.
Yeah, they're killing people all the way.
He is comparing a youth group for gays to ISIS when really he's the one who's more like ISIS.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but Joe, don't you realize that smoking pot is the gateway to becoming an ISIS member?
Oh, yeah, actually, yeah, I just read an article backed up by all the same scientists that back up that global warming isn't true. And they say that smoking pot turns you into an ISIS member. You grow a beard instantly.
Yeah, that's why both of you guys have beards.
That's why we have really big beards.
Yeah, big old black beards.
All right, those fucking morons. Let's move on.
All right, so we got another story. It's out of Utah. Salt Lake City Tribune is reporting, and this is a good thing. The battle over sex education returning to Utah legislator.
Yes.
God damn it, Josh.
Stop it, Josh.
God, why are you always beeping? So, quote, a battle is returning to the legislator over whether to allow comprehensive sex education in Utah schools, instead of just the abstinence-only curriculum now permitted. Knowledge is power. I don't believe in keeping our kids ignorant, said House Democratic leader Brian King, who introduced HB 246 to allow comprehensive sex education.
This is why we need to vote more Democrats. I mean, for all our Utah listeners, even all over the United States.
Yeah,
vote Democrat. Vote all these Republicans out of there. A lot of them are backwards and behind intellectually and, God, I mean, some of them are even morally behind. They keep following the Bible for their morals, and all it does is make them immoral.
Or the ones who say, I'm for family values, and then they're the ones who get caught cheating on their spouse.
Oh, yeah. They have a mistress in another state that has a nice apartment, and they're paying for everything, you know.
With tax dollars.
Yes,
sometimes.
with our fucking tax dollars.
Yeah.
So there's another quote in here, somebody who's opposing this new bill. Gail Ruzicka, president of the conservative Utah Eagle Forum, promised to fight the move. And this is what she said. Comprehensive sex education is all about teaching children that it's okay to have sex as long as they use a condom. It doesn't work. But we know comprehensive sex education works. There are facts. You can look at the facts.
Yeah, countless studies, countless.
Oh, yeah, you can find them. And it's not... The sex education teacher isn't just like, yeah, it's fine, go fuck whoever, just make sure you use a condom. They're giving you the facts of how sex works and STDs and protection and all that. If a kid wants to bang another kid, she, they're going to do it.
Yeah,
Giving them that education so they can not get STDs and not get pregnant is the best thing to do.
Yeah, well, as soon as I remember being a teenager and all of a sudden hitting puberty, and I was a horny little shit. I mean, and most teenagers are, you know.
I still am.
They're gonna have sex whether you tell them not to. I mean, you can teach them all the facts and stuff, and they can, and you. But kids are gonna do what they're gonna do.
Wait, you mean my religious brainwashing powers won't stop kids from having sex?
No.
God
I mean, they're still gonna do it, and they're gonna find ways around it, and be like, technically, I'm not. I mean, a couple of weird things came through in the Mormon church area of young teenagers doing weird stuff, but because they were trying to still get their rocks off. And not technically having sex.
Yeah.
I think they were doing a lot of anal sex and stuff, which still spreads disease. And that's the thing. If you fucking tell these kids, look, you can still get diseases by doing anal sex. That's not what they're telling them. They're like, no, just don't have sex. Don't do it.
Have you heard of the Mormon soak?
The Mormon soak? No. What's that?
Oh, it's ridiculous.
All right,
so there are things that happen, like what you were talking about. So these are more anecdotal than anything. And then I'll try and bring it back around to some points I want to make. So there was this thing that was happening at BYU, and this is not the Mormon soak. I'll get to that in a second. But what was happening at BYU is people were going down to Vegas, getting married, and then having sex, and then annulling their marriage, so that way they could still be temple worthy. I'm sure if bishops had found out, they would have still gone through with some sort of punishment.
Yeah.
The Mormon soak. It's
funny.
It's pretty funny. So one of the ways that you get around it is sex is actually, I guess, in some people's minds, the actual humping portion of having sex.
Okay.
So they would stick it in and just make out.
Just lay there, not move.
Not move.
Okay.
Your dick's inside her and you're just holding still.
Yep.
I do the Mormon soak sometimes.
Yeah, and there's a whole list of them. They're hilarious. There's got to be about 10 different adjectives for things that happen in Utah. Also, so let's get back to some points though.
Okay.
So I want to talk about how restrictive sex education can be, and this is not just in Utah. This is in other red states. It's pretty fucking bad. Like, they are not allowed to bring up any sort of contraceptives, birth control, protection at all in these classes.
Yeah.
Really, all they talk about is, men get erections, women get wet, and that's about it. They don't ever talk about
and don't have sex, and that's it.
Well, and sometimes they'll show the scary slides of STDs and shit, but they don't ever really talk about what sex is and what responsible adults do. But Utah, so hang on one second while we do some technical troubleshooting. And so how bad the sex education is that with the contraceptives is that they can't even use the word condom. So like if a kid were to ask the question, hey, teacher, I heard about what condoms are. The teacher can say, well, that sounds like a thing, but I can't. But they can't even say the fucking word condom in a sex education class. Like, by law, sex educators are not allowed to say the word condom. Like, that's our sex ed class. That's our sex education nowadays. That's just the affairs of it.
It's like going to gym class and they say, some people climb ropes. You can't, though. You can't climb ropes.
Yeah, and then
Don't climb ropes.
the other thing is, hey Matt, do you know this fact? Who's the number one consumer of pornography? What state is that?
Well, I've heard the top 2 states are Utah and Alabama, and
There's
they're like the 2 most religious states.
The most recent study came out, and Utah is now definitely in first.
There's I can't remember what country it is. It's in the Middle East. It might be Afghanistan. I could be wrong, but being gay is illegal there. You know,
Yeah.
you can be put to death, and they have the highest consumption of gay porn. You know, when you oppress something, people fucking need a way to release it.
Yeah, especially when they oppress sex altogether. So, like, I think that it's not just, oh, I'm sexually oppressed, I'm going to go look at porn. It's that I'm completely sexually oppressed. So I can't have sex. I can't even talk about sex with people of the opposite sex. I can't talk about sex with my friends because they'll judge me. So that way, the only way I can look or express myself sexually in certain people's situations is to go online anonymously and look at porn. No, absolutely not surprising at all that we're number one in porn consumption.
So do we get to vote on this battle over sex education in Utah,
Nope.
or no?
No,
Okay,
this is
so all we can do basically is try to get more Democrats in there.
Yeah.
Call our legislators.
Yeah, you can petition, you can do a lot of things, but we don't get a direct vote on this.
Oh, okay. So it's okay. It's kind of like the marijuana bill.
Yeah, so if you have a kid in school, this might be something that would interest you. If you're interested in having comprehensive sex education, you should get with other parents who also want comprehensive sex education, because there are some children also who aren't going to get sex education from their parents at all, because either their parents are too ashamed of sex ed, or they don't have quality parent time at the house, and that happens to some unfortunate children. But if you got together and demanded that from your schools, if enough people did that, then that would cause the legislation to change, or that would cause the way educators think about it to change too.
And sex is great, you know? Like, I hate that religion puts this fucking negative cloud over it. Sex is something that you should enjoy with your partner and experience it and just, you know, really have a good time with it.
Did you know that right behind marijuana, sex is the number 2 cause of becoming an ISIS member?
Damn it, I'm like major ISIS guy right now. Sex and weed. Woo!
Allah Akbar or some shit.
That's
Praise
right.
God. All right, so let's move forward.
That's what Ted Cruz said when he won the Iowa caucus. He said it was like by the grace of God or something like that, but translated in Islam it's Allah Akbar.
Yeah, that's praise be to God.
Yeah, praise be to God. And so it's funny that he would say that.
Oh yeah, he's white ISIS.
He's white ISIS. Yeah, Al Qaeda.
Yeah. So, all right, so we have another story. It's another one out of Utah,
Yes.
the Salt Lake Tribune again. The Mormon Church is against Madison's Utah marijuana bill. Madsen, sorry. So we have a marijuana bill trying to get passed here, medical marijuana.
SB 73.
And the Mormon Church here is opposing it. Yeah, so what do you guys think? It's sad that the Mormon Church has such a hold on things. I mean, I think they should have the right to say they disagree, but the church's the followers are
they hold
they
hold a lot of influence over their followers and
exactly.
stuff. And so to deny somebody medicine that could potentially save lives, especially children with
epilepsy
and stuff like that. I mean,
Our current law system is set up that religious organizations do not have that freedom of speech.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you cannot say things that are political. You cannot have an opinion on political things. That's because of the political power that churches hold, and that's
what
all
about
over the country.
all that money they sent to California to fight gay rights?
Yeah,
so that was illegal there?
That was illegal. It was found to be illegal. The church, I believe, was fined for it. But this is the second time, and this is, I'm sure, hundreds of times they've had this type of influence over our laws, where essentially somebody needs to come down on them. Like, they either need to stop saying this shit, or they need to stop being a religious or considered a non-profit organization, or because they're under the wrong tax filing to have any religious statements.
Okay, well, the establishment politics aren't going to come down on the Mormon Church because they create so much revenue It's a cash cow.
But they don't create revenue for the government. If they were paying taxes, they'd make revenue for the government. And honestly, in my opinion, I think churches should have the ability to say it, but there should not be such a thing as tax-free religious organizations, in my opinion. And this is just further proof of it. Like, there's no way that the Mormon Church is ever going to get its finger out of Utah politics or its fingers out of big national battles. They're going to still find ways to weasel around the laws that are in place to influence them.
And the church, they can't have, like you're saying, Josh, they can't have a financial influence on things, but
I'm sure they do.
They probably do in some backdoor ways,
Yeah, you give money to people, to individuals, and the individuals can do what they want.
Yeah, and politicians, they'll support a religious group, or a religious group will support a politician. So they might not be exchanging money, but like we were just saying, the church will come out against something or for something, and then the followers of that religion will vote that way if they can, or influence other people or whatever, and that's the way they can contribute to the political system.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Mormon Church has donated money to certain campaigns and whatnot.
They can't do so directly, but
like Mitt Romney, like he was Mormon, and I'm sure, and I know a lot of people here in Utah voted for him because he was Mormon.
Yeah.
So they can influence it that way.
Well, and it's not just that though. Like, so none of the actual prophets and apostles can do it, but they have church apologists, like paid church apologists that write books and sell them through Deseret Book, and they can state their minds. So if they have the opinion that, hey, this Republican's better than this Democrat, or this Republican's better than this other Republican, then they have that power to still influence religious people that way, because it can't come from the prophets and apostles.
Well, look at the Deseret News.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a local newspaper in Utah.
Yeah, that's another way that you can feed into it, is have people who share very similar beliefs state opinions that the church wants stated through the news.
News. You're funny.
Yeah. What's that?
Yeah.
Well, should we move on to our science story?
Sure.
Ooh. I'm not ready.
So we've got about 8 minutes left.
Okay, sorry.
Alrighty.
You're fine. So 1 second again.
Okay. So this is coming from I Fucking Love Science, February 4th by Tom Hale. The story is about the United States' only known jaguar has been captured on film for the first time ever. It's only 41 seconds. It's a cool video. It shows the jaguar doing its thing, and it's caught by motion sensor cameras. But a lot of people don't know that the United States in the recent past has had jaguars. The video was caught in Arizona. And it's a male jaguar. He's been named El Jefe, which means boss.
The boss
in Spanish. El Jefe. My name is Jeff.
Matt, are you El Jefe at work?
Yes, so they don't call me that. They usually call me Puto Flaco, which is skinny bitch.
So it's a really cool video, and it's cool to see that there's a jaguar right here in the United States, and not too far from us. It's just in Arizona in the Santa Rita Mountains. But what kind of sucks about this story is there is a local the Rosemont mine is a proposed copper mining project that will be built slap bang in the middle of the Jaguars range. And so if they do build this copper mine, that it threatens this last jaguar that we know of in the United States. And that's extremely sad.
That is sad. It's crazy to look throughout, the last 100 years or whatever, and see how many animals have gone extinct due to human
activity.
Activity, exactly. And it's pretty sad. That's why we need to, try and support our environment, stop global warming, and just try and preserve our natural
climate change.
Our natural.
I'm just kidding.
Things.
Yeah, cheetahs are on the verge. I think that my anthropology teacher said that they've got maybe 100 to 200 years left of being in existence, unless something happens.
And I think, aren't white rhinos, they're about done?
Yeah, there's only a few. I think there's only a few left or one left.
There was a species that I can't remember if it's the white rhino or if it was a different type of rhino, a different species of rhino, but one of them went extinct about 6 years ago. And yeah, we're on the verge of losing another species, but this is humanity. Go us.
Yep. America,
let's go over there and kill something. Post it on Facebook. And then
true.
get mad when people get mad at us.
And actually, you know what? Let's talk about the porn in Utah. There was this story. Who had it again?
Matt had it.
No. What site had it?
Oh, Deseret News.
We were just talking about
our local Mormon newspaper.
Yeah, fantastic. And they come out with these shit articles all the time. But just to kind of open up the article, I'm going to read the... So, State Senator Todd Weiler, however you pronounce his name, I don't give a fuck, came out talking about this. And essentially, Utahns castigate the adult entertainment industry in a legislative hearing Friday on a proposed resolution declaring pornography a public health crisis.
Yes.
God damn it. Like, that's so stupid. It's not a public health crisis. Flint, Michigan is dealing with a public health crisis. Utah is not dealing with a public health crisis.
They are drinking water that fucking kills them. That
contains lead.
That sounds a little more important. And Willer also said, I believe that the public opinion needs to change on pornography. I believe the resolution is a first step. And then he added that he hopes to shift the discussion from a moral, religious, and First Amendment perspective to a public health issue.
See, and...
No, your problem with fucking pornography is your fucking religious fucking problem with
dude,
it.
And I can see it being a public health issue, like if people abuse it in a sense. You know what I mean? But anything can be abused. People who abuse cheeseburgers aren't getting in trouble.
So as soon as you get legislation involved, though, you're fucking up. Like alcohol. There's lots of people who have problems with alcohol. Like, and they're worse than problems with pornography. Like, it's just gonna make you a loner, and it kind of sucks. Like, people who are in that situation, I feel for you. Like, if you have a spouse who is turning to pornography to take
pleasure
care of business
themselves.
And ignoring you completely, I feel bad for you. I honestly do. I
and
sympathize
then it
with
should
that
be
person.
discussed, and it should be
For sure. But when it comes to pornography in general, you shouldn't have legislation on the books about it.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
And it moved, the committee unanimously moved it to the Senate floor for further discussion, and no one at the hearing spoke against it.
And I think that there are three categories of people in general who are against the pornography. People who don't do it who wish they could look at it. Then there's the people who look at it but are ashamed to look at it. And then there's the people who do it and don't really care. But like, I can't honestly. That third category is bullshit, honestly. But those first two categories probably make up a majority of the people who think that way. Like, Matt, since I can't drink, you can't drink. Blah blah blah.
Yes.
Like,
and since I have a problem with alcohol, you can't drink any alcohol. And it's like, well, just because you're having a problem with it or someone else is having a problem with it, don't exclude it from everybody. You know, some people get in cars and crash cars and don't know how to fucking drive cars. Does that mean we should outlaw all cars? No, we shouldn't. You know what? The more I learn about politics and the more I've been getting into politics, and especially ever since we started this podcast, God, I kind of want to get into politics now.
For sure.
Like, I would maybe, I don't know, I would like to have a platform to stand on. I know you've talked about that before yourself.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Josh.
And I just want to add another quote from the news. Jenny Brown, a member of the Utah Coalition Against Pornography Board, said many are scared of the industry because of the fierce way it goes after people in court. Brown said it's time for children's rights to be acknowledged and that no one has a right to harm another person.
What does this have to do with harming people and children?
I don't know. I think she's a little delusional.
Well, her marriage probably went south due to her husband's excessive jacking off to pornography, and now it ruins marriages.
Hey, if she didn't, I'm sure she was kind of a bitch about it. Like, if you talk about sexuality things, then your marriage is more likely to succeed. And when people have these things, they tend to be closed off. But we're at the end of time, so Thank you guys for listening to the Recklessly Skeptical podcast. We'll be here for the second half here in a moment. And yes, I did fuck that up.
We can't ever say recklessly skeptical.
Keep your hands on your genitals.
Yep. Take care.
Masturbate.